Today we'll be solving the WASSCE June Core Maths 2018 questions. So we'll begin with the question 1. So I'll read the question. Question 1A. Solve correct to 1 decimal place, tan into bracket, theta plus 25 degrees is equal to 5.145, where theta is less than equal to 0 and less than equal to 90. B. In the relation t is equal to m square root of n squared plus 4r. I. Make n the subject of the relation. I. Find the positive value of n when t is equal to 25, m is equal to 5, and r is equal to 4. So let's begin with the solution. We take question 1a. Tan into bracket theta plus 25 degrees is equal to 5.145. So this is basically making theta the subject. So you have to make theta the subject. So what we do is to divide the left hand side and the right hand side by tan. So the whole of this place is the left hand side, and the whole of this is the right hand side. So dividing both sides by tan, we have tan into brackets theta plus 25 degrees all over tan is equal to 5.145 all over tan. Now tan cancels tan. We have theta plus 25 degrees equal to 5.145 over tan. Now this can also be written as theta plus 25 degree equal to 1 over tan times 5.145. Right. Now 1 over tan is the same as tan inverse. So we have theta plus 25 should be equal to the tan inverse of 5.145. We have theta plus 25 degree should be equal to the tan inverse of 5.145. When you punch it on your calculators, should give 79.00. Now making theta the subject, so theta will be equal to 79.00 minus 25 degrees. This should be in degrees too. So theta should be equal to 54.00 degrees. But let's move back to the question. It says correct to 1 decimal place. So then we have our theta to 1 decimal place is 54.0 degrees, 1 decimal place. Okay, so moving on to the second question, which says in the relation t is equal to m times the square root of n squared plus 4r, make n the subject. Okay, so what we do is to get rid of the, okay, so we have to get rid of the square root, which means we square both sides so that we can remove the square root. And by squaring both sides, I mean square the left hand side and then the right hand side. So as usual, this is our left hand side and this will be our right hand side. So we square both sides. So we get t squared should be equal to m square root of all squared. Now expanding to remove the square root, we have t squared is equal to m squared n squared plus 4r. Now we expand to remove brackets. So t squared will be equal to, this multiplies this and at the same time multiplies this. So we have m squared n squared plus m squared 4r. Now we are making n the subject, so we need to make n stand on its own. So our m squared n squared should be equal to, we move this to the left hand side. So we have t squared minus m squared 4r. Now to make n stand on its own, we have to divide by the coefficient of n, which is m squared in this case. So dividing both sides by m squared, we have m squared n squared all over m squared is equal to t squared minus 4r m squared all over m squared. Now m squared cancels m squared. We have n squared to be equal to t squared minus 4r m squared all over m squared. But then we need n, we don't need n squared. So we have to take the square root of both sides. So we have to square this side and square the whole of this. So square root n should be equal to t squared minus 4r m squared all over m squared. So this square cancels this square. We have n to be equal to t squared minus 4r m squared all over m squared. So this is our n. Now moving on to the BII. It says finding the value of n when t is equal to 25, m is equal to 5, and r is equal to 4. So let's do that. T is equal to 25, m is equal to 5, and r is equal to 4. So wherever we see t, we put 25. Wherever we see m, we put 5. And wherever we see r, we put 4. So our n is equal to the square root of 25 squared minus 4. R is 4. So 4 and m is 5. But m is squared. So 5 squared. All divided by m squared. So m is 5. 5 squared. Now our n should be equal to the square of 25 is 625, 625, minus 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 5 squared, which is 16 times 25, is 400. All divided by 5 squared, which is 25. So n should be equal to square root of 625 minus 400 all over 25. N is equal to 625 minus 400 is 225 all over 25. N should be equal to 225 divided by 25 is 9. So the square root of 9. And we know the square root of 9 is 3. So n is equal to 3. So that will be our value for n.